It's all about the money, or at least in Mercedes' case, the money. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling, and we have the real reason that Mercedes Money has joined AEW. And I don't want to hear it being about a fresh start, new matchups, helping a women's division. It's not about that. For Sasha Banks, it's all about making bank. It's all about the money. It's all about Tony Khan and his inflated checks. Nothing more, nothing less. So Mercedes Money did an interview speculating about her pay in AEW and her future goals. And this is what she had to say. She says about the speculation on the money she's making. Quote, I'm not Mercedes Money for no reason. Money changes everything. I'm always about that bag, absolutely. End of quote. So, straight away, she admits that it's about the money. And that's fair enough because most things are about money in life. I've no problem with that. But let's not pretend it's for other reasons. Let's not pretend it's because you want to have a match. You've never wrestled, Tony Storm before, and that's why you're going to AEW. Or you want to wrestle Sky Blue because you think you would have a good 15-minute match. It's not about that. If AEW were offering you $100,000 a year, you wouldn't be caring about wrestling Britt Baker.
No.
In Pittsburgh, or fucking anywhere for that matter.
I feel like Britt Baker in Pittsburgh.
It's all about the money. And then when she's speaking about her goals in AEW, Mercedes Money says, quote, I'm all about creating history. I'm all about creating magic. And I'm all about creating so much more. That's what AEW brings. So much more opportunity, more chances, and more chances to stand out and to be seen and noticed. End of quote. So, Mercedes says that's why she's in AEW. It's all about creating magic, creating so much more opportunity, more chances to stand out and to be seen and noticed. Well, I mean, she's on a show that can barely get 800,000 views. The clips on YouTube don't do as well. The clips on all sorts of social media don't do as well. So, does she really have more of a chance to be seen and noticed on AEW than she would WWE? I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I'm going to say no as well, but the problem with this is when you come out and say you're only there for the money, I don't give a shit for whatever reasons you've got after that. I mean, make some magic. At least if you come out and said that and didn't mention the money, you can maybe half buy it. If you're going to say money, just stick to the money.
Yeah, but that's her gimmick. Like, why can't she just be like, yeah, I'm in it for the money? Why come out with this shit
because
to talk about
not a face?
Opportunities and chances and this and that? I mean, to me, none of that makes sense. She's not going to get more opportunities in AEW. She's not going to stand out more in AEW. So that's what Mercedes Moné had to say. And now, regarding why she's there, we had Mike Johnson, or PW Insider, providing some details about what led to Mercedes Moné choosing an AEW contract over a WWE contract. And this is what he had to say. Both WWE and AEW were reportedly willing to commit to contracts that amounted to 8 figures in total over the course of the deals. The belief is that Mercedes is now the highest paid female performer in wrestling history with her AEW contract. Discussions between Mercedes and AEW were said to have taken place for 18 months before she officially signed with the company. It's believed that while talks with WWE happened later, executives there absolutely wanted her back in the family. It was noted that the final decision had to do with where Mercedes would have the strongest potential, not only for herself, but for the future of women's wrestling. Johnston wrote, quote, we are told by sources that a major part of the decision to go with AEW was that Moné believed that while going back to WWE could have been beneficial, it would have been a return to where she had already been. End of quote. So Mike Johnson here basically saying that Mercedes Moné believed that a return to WWE could have been beneficial, but because she'd already previously been there, it ruled that option out. Like, what kind of nonsensical reason is that? Hogan went back to WWE. Rock went back to WWE. CM Punk went back to WWE. Did those guys rule out a return because they'd already been there? Does that mean their money's getting cut in half because they've already been there? Does that mean their future isn't going to be as good because they've already been there? Like, what nonsense is that? Are you telling me that if AEW wasn't around and that Tony Khan wasn't offering this big money, Mercedes Moné would have chose to go to Ring of Honor because she'd already been to WWE and she couldn't go back? I mean, that's fucking dumb. It's dumb. The reason she didn't go back to WWE is because they wouldn't pay her the money that Tony Khan was stupid enough to give her. I mean, it's as simple as that. It's got nothing to do with not returning to a place she'd already been.
I'm not buying this 8-figure stuff either. WWE would never pay 8 figures over a period of years. I just don't see that. Do you see that?
Well, if it's a 5-year contract,
that's ridiculous amount of money for these fucking jobbers, man. It is.
I'm not sure. I think it would need to be at least 5 years minimum for WWE to pay. I don't know if they would pay her $2 million a year.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, even for WWE to pay the minimum to get you to your 8 figures is a crazy amount of money. Well, Tony Khan splashing out $25 million if he does 5 years. I mean, that's mental.
Mental, but yeah, for me, the reason, it's got nothing to... The real reason is the money. It's all about the money. I mean, she's come out and she has said, yeah, she likes the money, but then she tries to also back it up with other reasons. And it's like, you know, it's bullshit. It's like, if someone does something wrong, or if someone does something selfish, just be honest about the reason you done it and that's it. Don't be honest and then later on try to add in a few more reasons to, like, justify yourself. You know, it's like, that's like passing the buck. And I don't like that.
I don't like it.
There's nothing wrong with Mercedes Moné taking the money. I mean...
Did Brock Lesnar ever come out and say this shit? No? Brock Lesnar went, I'm fucking here to make money.
Yeah. So, like, you don't need to hide it. You can just be honest. You know, say the money is the reason you're doing it and that's it. But don't say, I'm all about the money, and then try to also justify it by saying, yeah, but I want to help women's wrestling too. Women's wrestling is non-existent in AEW, so how are you helping it?
Yeah, as we touched upon in previous vids, it's a one-horse race in the AEW's women's division.
If you cared about your career as well, you would go back to WWE.
No, but let's look at it, right? If she's on $5 million a year, I know they offer crazy money in AEW, but how much is the nearest woman in AEW on if she's on $5 million?
Well, if they had a reasonable owner that wasn't insane and hadn't been born with a silver spoon in his mouth. I know that was Shane McMahon's gimmick, but I think that Tony Khan's hoovered that off him. If they had a good businessman in charge, you're talking at the most like 150, 200,000.
Yeah.
But knowing Tony Khan, I wouldn't be surprised if like the highest paid woman in WWE, I'm going to AEW, I'm going to assume it's Britt Baker.
Yeah.
And I'm going to assume that if she's not on $1 million a year, she will be very close to it.
It's crazy, man. These mediocre people...
You think Britt Baker would get $1 million in WWE?
No, they're fucking stealing a wage, man.
They are. So, anyway, that's what it's all about. It's all about the money. It's not about creating new matches and new matchups and new opportunities in a place that, you know, gets like a fourth of the audience that WWE gets. It's not about that. It's all about the money. So just be honest and don't try and bullshit after. But there you go, guys. That's the real reason. Mike Johnson here, I don't know what game plan he's playing, but to try and suggest that the reason she couldn't go back to WWE is because she's already been there, like that's a bad thing. Lots of people return to WWE and the returns are good. So, yeah, like I said, if AEW wasn't around, do you think the fact that she'd already been in WWE would have prevented her from going back? Absolutely not. Do you think Mercedes would have said, well, you know what? I don't really want that contract that TNA are offering me, $10 a year. So what I'm going to do is, I'm actually not going to go back to WWE because I've already been there. So, yeah, TNA, Scott D'Amore, $10 a year, that sounds good to me, sign me up. Absolutely fucking not. It's all about the money, it's all about AEW, and that's it, guys. Anyway, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.